JT, tell us a little bit about CoWork at the Metro and how this started, where the vision came from.
So I used to run an IT company, and we always needed places to work. Obviously, if we were out at a client in Atlanta, we needed to knock some contracts out, get some work done. We would always use a company called Rome in Alpharetta, and that was a great spot to work. It was creative. It was just a great spot to really get stuff done and feel like you're a part of something bigger than the small company you're a part of. And I noticed a lot of kind of synergy and people working together through that space and different companies that had nothing to do with each other. And one of my friends managed that place, and he told me about how much revenue was generated within those companies. So they're basically, it's almost creating somewhat of a self-sustaining environment where people can literally bounce ideas off each other and then provide services to each other, and really help companies get off the ground. So being in Monroe, obviously there's nothing like that. I was looking at renting a space from one of my customers just down the street next to a dentist, and started looking at it. It was about 4,000 square feet, and I had 3 employees, so it's obviously way more space than I needed. I have a lot of friends in this area that either work from home from companies in Atlanta. They may be self-employed. They may, I've got plenty of friends that wanted a spot to work, but didn't necessarily want to pay for the overhead of an office. So I was looking at potentially renting out some desks and some offices in there just to help carry my overhead. And there was another little area where I thought it would be really cool to do a rock climbing gym, or it was a bouldering gym. It was very small, probably about the size of this room. And it was just enough that, again, some friends and family could help pitch in, cover the cost, and it would be a fun thing to do at break, and maybe turn into a small business. And the goal of both of those businesses was obviously for both of them to need to be their own independent businesses, where that would be my office for the IT space, and eventually I would need another location for co-working and another location for the rock climbing gym. I found out that this building was still available. It was listed for years. The bank that owned it was very hard to work with. Many people in this community have tried to get this place under contract, and it was literally next to impossible. So I guess it took someone who knew how to bug people just enough, like myself, and wasn't really going to take no for an answer. Is that the building's for sale. I've got a partner. We need to buy it, and there's no reason that we can't make a contract work out. The building's for sale. It's for sale. So we finally worked that out. We found out the city wanted to purchase the green space next to us, and we worked out an agreement with them. They've been absolutely paramount in helping this get off the ground, as far as just kind of organic growth. Their marketing, Monroe does a spectacular job of supporting their small businesses. So we worked out a deal with them where they were able to acquire that piece of property for the Monroe Town Green. We were able to acquire this building, and so the first phase for myself was obviously the co-working space. To get that going, we've got an axe throwing gym coming in. Their lease starts September 1st, so just around the corner on the other half of this brick building. Major Humphreys Brewery is coming in with a full brewing facility and tap room in the back portion of this. And then the plan is to do a rock climbing gym in the other half of the 13,000 square foot warehouse over there. So kind of able to do all those visions in one space and do them 100% the first time.
What attracted you about Monroe, and do you think that this town is becoming younger and younger?
I've been in Monroe my whole life in different capacities. So I lived in Loganville, but was in Gwinnett County schools because we're in Gwinnett County. My grandfather's business has been out here since I was born. So it's a family business. I was out here all the time visiting for lunch, Christmas parties, Thanksgiving gatherings, stuff like that. So I've been able to see Monroe transform from what it used to be to what it is now over the span of 30 years. So it's been really cool. I mean, I remember driving through here as a 5-year-old just thinking it was kind of a dumpy little town. I didn't really look forward to driving from Loganville to Monroe. It was just to go see Pops. There wasn't really any other aspect to that. Now you've got kids begging to come down here and go to the story shop. We're seeing people come out here and throw the Frisbee and walk their dogs on this green space already just because it's cut. The city's not even necessarily advertising it as green space, but there's an obvious desire for people to have something to do. And the city of Monroe has done an incredible job of preparing this place for that growth before it actually happens. And I think that the maturity of that preparation has not, I mean, it certainly has attracted some younger folks, but it's also made the area more stable for more mature adults, and people just in kind of, the middle of their life. So you see a huge amount of growth in probably the 35 to 50-year-old range, where people are seeing this as a good place to bring their families and raise a family, as well as some young professionals. I mean, there's certainly a large amount of young professionals come in here, creatives. There's you walk downtown, I mean, you see a lot of people that you would not expect to see in Monroe. And I think that's fantastic. I think that the city is doing a good job of being mindful to not just gentrify this area and try to make everybody fit a mold, to encourage creativity and encourage uniqueness. And I think that that's why you're kind of seeing just that. You're seeing 18-year-olds who would typically be leaving town and going to live at their college town, and instead they're commuting because they enjoy their city, they enjoy where they live. And you see some other people that would normally probably be looking to move further out, and they're staying put. That revenue is staying in the town.
And tell us about the clientele. We were talking before the interview started that you see people from all walks of life, from all ages.
Yep. Yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, when I first put this place together, if you go to most co-working spaces, especially in Atlanta, it's certainly a younger crowd. I would say between probably 22 to maybe 35 or so. There's certainly some exceptions to that on both sides, but that's the bulk of the business there. We're seeing everything from, I would say, our youngest basic member is probably 27 or so. We just had a gentleman sign up who's 5 years from retirement. This is where his job has allowed him to work from home full time, and they're paying for him to have a desk here. And again, I mean, he's probably 60 something. I mean,
and it's much more suited than Starbucks.
Absolutely. And I worked out of Coffee Camper for years. Crystal is a great friend of mine. She's super excited about this place. She comes here and uses it. And it's not to discount any type of coffee shop or anything like that, but sometimes it's just not suitable for business. If you're trying to be on a call, if you're trying to conduct an interview or have a meeting, and you've got people shopping and making coffee in the background and everything, it's just not conducive to business.
And to me, if you work from home, sometimes the longer you do that, there's a blurred line between your workspace and where you live. And this to me would, I think, raise your productivity in your home business, because you're getting out, you're going to a space where work is first thought. Absolutely. That was huge for me. I worked from home for 4 years, and it's real easy to look out the window and say, I think I'm going to go cut the grass in the middle of the day, and this is my lunch break that's been 3 hours long, and just equally detrimental to your life is it's 8 o'clock and my office is right here, and I'm going to go work here instead of hang out with my family. Which is probably more detrimental. Family should be more important than your job. So it definitely serves a purpose in this community. And there was a lot of naysayers. There was a lot of people that said, "Oh, you're going to do great," And I think that we've been open for 4 months now, and we're on track to break even next month, which is a huge blessing. Beyond blessing. So. The support from the community has been great. We've got a lot of people a lady who just walked out, her kid goes to school at a private school around here, and she lives about an hour away. She works from home. So she's able to go drop her child off, come here, $100 a month, unlimited coffee, unlimited water, a productive place, comfortable place. She goes, picks her kid up and goes home. So it fills a void for a lot of different scenarios. And I think that Monroe is finally ready for that, and I think that this place should help encourage that type of work-play balance and lifestyle that's healthy to be happy and thrive.